Hi, my name is Arnav Chakravarti, and I'll be presenting our work, Tragedy+Time, Capturing Unintended Human Activities from Weekly Label Videos. This work is done in a collaboration with Jiuan Fang and Yezhi Yang. What is teleological action understanding? Teleology is derived from two Greek terms, teleos and logia. Teleos means a goal, and logia means a branch of learning. Hence, teleological action understanding refers to understanding an action in terms of its goal. This differs from traditional action recognition, which involves understanding the physical motions, which describe only the means of an action and not the ultimate goal. There's an abundance of psychology research on this topic, and many researchers argue that humans' understanding of action is teleological as well. This type of understanding enables multiple abilities, some of which are action prediction, learning novel and more efficient means of actions to achieve the same goal, and understanding the goal even if the outcome is not achieved. Inherent goals and unintentional actions are not obvious. One might look at both these videos and ask, what is the man trying to do? In the first one, it's not apparent. The second one makes it more obvious that the man is trying to open the bottle. In both of these videos, the man has the same goal, which is to open the bottle, but since the first one leads to an unintentional action, it makes it harder to interpret the goal. So how do we understand unintentional actions? We first need to know what is the goal of the action, why was it not fulfilled, and when did it start transitioning away from its goal. The first two can be done by action classification, and the last one can be done by localization. State-of-the-art action recognition models such as I3D, trained on a traditional action recognition dataset such as kinetics, view the above video as faceplant, when inherent goal was to hit the ball. The information is not contained in the data set since it's only concerned to understand the surface level action and not the goal. Let's take the following figure as an example. A person trying to dive falls and slips into the water. We need to predict the goal-directed action, which is diving, the unintentional action, which is slipping, as well as the segments corresponding to both these actions, the green and the red. There are two ways to solve this task. One is a fully supervised approach, where the transition point labels are provided along with the video during training, as well as a weakly supervised approach, which uses only the video level labels during training and learns a localization task as a side effect of this training process. The most relevant to our work is the OOPS dataset, which contains failed videos, which are humans performing unintentional actions. It contains manually labeled transition points separating the goal-directed region from the unintentional region. They also provide draw annotations describing both these regions. These annotations are in the form of video captions. Hence, they're not clustered in well-defined classes. The sentences are sometimes ambiguous due to diverse vocabulary, and there are also different words used to describe the same action. They use fully supervised learning for localization using the transition point labels. You can see from this above diagram that we can fit our goal-directed and unintentional class into a template query such as a person tries to blank, but blank, and obtains such videos at scale. What is difficult is to obtain the transition point segments, which leads us to the weakly supervised action localization task. This is a well-studied research topic, and the idea is to separate the noise and untrimmed videos from the regions which contain activity using only video level action labels. Our work is inspired from this work, however, is different as it involves segmenting goal-directed and unintentional regions from trimmed unintentional videos. We introduced a new augmented dataset called Weekly Augmented OOPS, since it is built on the original OOPS dataset. It contains well-defined classes, 44 goal-directed and 30 unintentional classes. There are no transition points provided during training, but only during testing for the validating our approach. We use dependency parsing to extract the verb as well as its associated noun from the provided captions to form the action such as jump over wooden table. We replace all the compound nouns by the second noun. So wooden table would be replaced by table. Finally, we group the nouns into a more general category. So table would be grouped into obstacle. Since most of the annotating process is automatic, it becomes simple to extract out features. To ensure the sanity of the data, we built a human evaluation tool to verify the correctness of the labels and revise the incorrect labels. So just to give an overview of our approach to solve the problem, given a raw video, we extract its clip level features using a pre-trained feature extractor such as an I3D or a R2+1D. Since these clip level features do not incorporate temporal relations between clips, we encode these features using a sequence module, such as a transformer encoder or a gated recurrent unit. We then pass these these features to temporal attention modules, which extract out one-dimensional temporal weights, which capture the importance of a clip in predicting the goal-directed or the unintentional action. These temporal attention weights are class agnostic and are only used to identify the regions of interest. We then get the goal-directed and the unintentional feature by computing a dot product between the feature maps as well as the temporal attention weights. Finally, we obtain the temporal class activation maps for the goal-directed region and the unintentional region by passing the corresponding features through weight-shared linear layers. These temporal class activation maps are similar to the class agnostic weights. However, they are specific to a certain class. Formally, temporal class activation maps are one-dimensional class-specific activations that specify classification scores over time. We incorporate the MIL loss, which is the classification loss using multiple instance learning, and our proposed overlap regularization, which is an additional regularization on the class agnostic attention weights. We train the model end-to-end while keeping the feature extractor frozen. Since we want to localize two events, the goal-directed region and the unintentional region, we follow two specific intuitions, which is one, there should be little or no overlap between the goal-directed region and the unintentional region. And the second is an action begins as a goal-directed region action, which then transitions into an unintentional action. So the goal-directed region must occur before the unintentional region. Since this is agnostic to a specific class, we formulate the loss functions using the class agnostic attention weights. In order to incorporate the order, we ensure that the expectation of the goal-directed attention map should be lesser than that of the unintentional counterpart. We also regularize the overlap between any of these two attention weights. As seen in the figure, the yellow dots lie within the overlap region and contribute to the loss function. Our final training objective is a weighted sum over the classification MIL loss as well as the overlap regularization loss. For inference, we weight the temporal class activation map by the class agnostic attention map to obtain the final attention map. Finally, we threshold this attention map to obtain the final localized segment. This is performed for the goal-directed as well as the unintentional action. We now go over the classification results. Given a descending score rank of videos for each of the classes, we calculate the mean average precision across all the goal-directed and the unintentional classes. And we can see that the model performs 2.4% better on the goal classification and 2.9% better on the unintentional classification as compared to the best baseline. Going over our localization results, in order to evaluate the localization results, we follow the previous localization tasks and use mean average precision at different intersection over unions. We can see that our method performs 12.8% better on the goal localization and 13.5% better on the unintentional localization. We also analyze the effectiveness of all our losses, and you can see that our overlap regularization had significant improvement over our benchmark. We've prepared a short video to illustrate our model in action. Here, our model predicts the goal to be jump bike and the unintentional to be fail landing. The green line corresponds to the goal-directed attention, and the red is the unintentional attention. Spikes in any of these attentions correspond to goal-directed or unintentional activity taking place. We further conduct a video captioning experiment to validate the teleological ability of a model. The experiment is divided into two parts. We train a state-of-the-art video captioner on the entire video and the whole ground truth caption. And the second part is we split the video into a goal-directed and unintentional region using our localization module and train two video captioners to predict the respective captions from each part of the video. We can see that the experiment using a localization performs better across all the captioning evaluation metrics, including Rouge, Meteor, Cider, and Smooth. Just seeing an example, we can see that the first video, the ground truth is a man is trying to perform a skateboard trick, but he ended up face planting onto the ground. Without the localization is a man trying to do a flip on a flip, but he falls off the ground and falls on the ground. And with the localization module, the caption is a man is trying to jump on a skateboard, but he fell off the board and fall on the ground. So we can see using a localization module helps make captions make more sense. Thank you.